as he tells us in Matthew chapter 6, verse 25, 2:31. He tells us this 5 times. Because our veneration, our confidence, our veneration and confidence in God is what strengthens a weak connection with Him. Jesus tells us that God knows what we need, and He tells us to take no thought. So do it, that we must go within. That's the key of knowledge. He tells us that we must seek the kingdom in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. And He tells us that the kingdom is within us. Luke chapter 17, verse 20. And in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 28, Paul tells us that we've received the kingdom that cannot be shaken. So don't just believe this. Know this. Don't just believe in it like you believe in Santa, but truly know, truly delve, truly investigate. Because I tell you, if you don't, if you're just constantly listening to what somebody else has told you, if you're not putting your brain to work in the same way that God is working on you, then you're only half balanced. How could you ride a bike if you're only 50% balanced? This life is the same way. There's a physical study and there's a spiritual study. And we have to learn how to navigate these things personally and authentically. And we need to have balance to understand Jesus Christ. We can have structure in our soul. We can have structure in our soul that our minds cannot think complete. And so what about good old Genesis, chapter 37, verse 9? Behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars were bowing down to me. And I'll tell you what that's in reference to. They're bowing down to Jacob, the one who wrestled with God at the place of pineal. I'll tell you that your pineal gland is your light receptor. It's right here in the center of your brain. It's really interesting. He wrestles with God at the place of pineal, and he turns his name from Jacob to Israel in chapter 32, verse 28. And like I said, he calls the place pineal, and your pineal gland in your body at the center of your brain is your light receptor. Webster's Medical Dictionary will tell you this. Those who wrestle with God at the place of pineal are God's chosen people, are those of Israel. This sounds like this is universally approachable if we followed the directions of Jesus Christ. We need critical, logical thought process founded on the trust of God and in the truth of following Jesus. He leads us to the way. And I tell you that He leads us within. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 1, that's where the Apostle Paul says, we need to move beyond the written doctrines of Christ and move on to perfection, not laying in the foundations of repentance, but truly living in the way of Christ.